Wow. So the AFL has released the opening round fixtures alongside the gather round fixtures. Let's get straight into them and yeah, my thoughts on every single game. So opening round, we are continuing what we did this season for next season, with games being played in Sydney and in Queensland. I honestly don't mind it, but a majority of the people don't really like it, because there's only 4 games being played on a week, and then by the time round 2 starts, there will be teams that will have played 2 games and teams that won't have played a single game. I do think that they will continue this tradition. I don't think people will like it, but they'll continue it for a while, as long as the NRL goes to Vegas for the first week. Let's get straight into the fixtures. On the Thursday night, we are going to be in Brisbane for Brisbane v Geelong. Honestly, if you win the flag, I do think you should play the first game of the season. Excuse the voice crack there. I feel like it is the best thing to do to have it in Brisbane this year instead of Sydney, because then we'll get some mashups. Like, we're not repeating the same formula. I actually really like the fixture that was on, because it's Brisbane v Geelong, and that game in the prelim produced like one of the best games in the final series. Unfortunately, if Geelong would have won, I don't think Sydney would have done better. Speaking of Sydney, we move on to the Friday night game, where it is Sydney versus Hawthorn. Now, I actually wanted to go. I haven't been to a Sydney v Hawthorn game since 2021, so this will be a very good game to go to and to watch live as well, because I feel like this will be a very close game, and will give people some hope for the season, clubs hope for the season as well, and yeah, that is pretty much it. I do think Hawthorn does deserve to be an opening round. So now, something that's been done differently here is that there isn't going to be 2 games played on the Saturday. Instead, they'll be playing on the Saturday and the Sunday, which I think they should have done for this year, but I'm kind of happy that it is going to be on next year. The Saturday match is between Gold Coast and Essendon in the Gold Coast. These 2 sides played 2 games against each other, and both those games were very close, and I just, yeah, it could be, Gold Coast could be up against a better team, in my opinion, but I feel like this will be sellouts. In fact, all these games will be sellouts, although one game will have majority away fans, which is the next game, GWS v Collingwood at NG Stadium in Homebush. Nothing much to say. I feel like this game, this time around, will be closer than this year's one. I feel like it should be more closer contested game than it was this year. I remember the first 2 games were very close, and then for opening round, and then the next 2 were kind of blowouts. That is opening round. I do think most of the fixtures were correct, but tell me your thoughts down in the comments section below. And now, going into gather round, this was already announced a day ago from when I'm recording. There's some interesting things in here. So, gather round starts off with Adelaide against Geelong at the Adelaide Oval. Kind of makes sense because, you know, you should have a team in Adelaide starting off gather round that's in Adelaide. So, I don't mind it. It looks to be a very close game. The Friday night game, is the game that I am most looking forward to, because it is Collingwood v Sydney, and yeah, it's a game that's making me want to go to Gather Round. But then Saturday we get our first real sort of weird fixture, where it is North Melbourne v Gold Coast in the Barossa Valley. Now, I wouldn't mind if the Barossa Valley only took one game and this was it, because it would make sense. And then we'd have the other game that's scheduled in the Barossa Valley to be played at Mount Barker. But unfortunately, there is no games in Mount Barker this year, which is sad because it's a good stadium. And this is a midday game as well. Not many people will probably be going to this, but yeah, that's I'm not a fan of this, especially with Carlton v West Coast happening at the Adelaide Oval 45 minutes after this game starts. So if anyone wanted to go to every single game of Gather Round, they are not going to be able to. I honestly think this game should be at Norwood and not at the Adelaide Oval, and the next game that is scheduled at Norwood to be at the Adelaide Oval, because the next game is the Western Bulldogs up against Brisbane. I don't know how the Lions have not got a game at the Adelaide Oval, considering they just won the flag. I'm not sure. I think that is a big mistake on the scheduling. I think they put Carlton and West Coast at the Adelaide Oval. I put all the games at the Adelaide Oval and then realised, oh my god, they don't have Brisbane there. So they decided to put them in the second largest stadium, hosting Gather Round, and that's the result. And then the Saturday night game is between Melbourne and Essendon. It kind of makes sense, because they are two big clubs and they'll probably sell it out. But I'm kind of surprised that Port Adelaide aren't playing this game. I honestly think this game should probably be a Sunday match or a Friday night match. I'm not really sure. I don't really mind this game. Looks to be alright, and let's just hope it is a close game. Now, on to the Sunday matches. We've got the second game in the Barossa Valley between Richmond and Fremantle. I feel bad for Richmond because they're going to be up against Shai Bolton, but I honestly do think this will actually be a very close game. So if you are going to be going to Gather Round, I honestly would put this on your recommendations. I might sound like an idiot, but I probably would too if the next game was not St Kilda v GWS at Norwood. But the St Kilda v GWS game is at 2:50. Makes sense at Norwood. No problems in that scheduling. And then the last game, Port v Hawthorn at the Adelaide Oval at 6:50. Why at 6:50? And on a Sunday. This honestly should be the Saturday night game. But I guess to finish off Gather Round to have this game on, no brainer, because it'll be the most anticipated one, and it will. I honestly think this will be the closest game in Gather Round. They missed on a few fixtures here and where they are played, but other than that, I feel like it's alright. And yeah, anyways, that is the end of this video. The AFL draw should be coming out later this week. However, I do apologise. I am going to be doing a few things throughout the next 7 days, so I'll be posting the goal kicking challenge and then do the things that I need to do for 7 days. I might post a short on me reacting to the AFL fixture, but that's pretty much it. So, okay. I'll see you guys all in my next video. Okay, bye.